Good morning. Okay, so I introduced you to the family dynamic. Okay, again, I grew up in a house with a mother and a father, and I grew up with a few of my siblings, and I grew up without a few of my siblings, couple, whatever. So I told you about my mom and how what's happened in her life has trickled down to my life. I can't speak for my brother, so I can't really talk about what they've been through or what they process as far as motherly relationships. So I introduced you to that when it came to me. I also mentioned the fact that I was depressed and I didn't know it about my mom, right? So given the fact that I was depressed and didn't know it, I had some bodily functions change. And, well, I wouldn't even call it a bodily function. I started to feel different. So, in 2005, so I graduated high school in 2004. Now, mind you, 2002, my mom got up and left. I didn't even mention that part, y'all. My mom decided that she couldn't take it in the house anymore. So my mom was laid off, because remember, she had this job and it was her sense of self. My mom was then laid off, okay? When she was laid off, she lost her whole identity, basically, because it was who she became. You know, her jobs is what she focused on, you know, making her money, and I guess it made her happy. I'm not really sure. So, like, we would come home, and she didn't have no job, right? So, again, Papa's money was the house money. Her money was her money, you feel me? So her car ended up getting repoed because Papa couldn't pay for both of them, you feel me? So it was a lot. So she lost her jobs. She lost her job she was working two jobs, two graphic design jobs. They both had to let her go, okay? So, and it wasn't anything that she did. They was making layoffs, you know? It just wasn't, I guess, economically feasible to keep her on board. I'm not really sure. So she lost her jobs. Her car got repoed. Boom. Where's she gonna go now? You feel me? So she decided she was gonna get on the internet and tell people what to believe about Jesus Christ. Okay. We didn't get it then because we didn't really have no relationship with God, because we didn't really know for real. But I always had DMX in my heart because, you know, DMX was my dog. And so I understood, and I know all his prayers, and I knew all his prayers, and I did have some sort of understanding. We did go to church when we was younger, but we didn't really know why we was there, you feel me? We was in children's church, but for real, the only thing I remember about church was the lemonade and the graham crackers, and I ain't gonna lie. So, and I remember whose church we were at, the Fenwicks, which were, no, probably not. Nah, because me and Dennis shared a Godfather and twin. So anyway, I don't really know how we got intertwined with the Fenwicks, but whatever, we started going to St. Paul's Episcopalian Church over there off of Far Hills in Ohio. So that happened. So my mom started staying up, I'm talking about late night. She wasn't even sleeping in the bed with my dad, right? She was staying up late night because she was on the internet telling people what to believe about Jesus. She was like fighting for the Lord for real. She was on belief.net. I will never forget it. I don't even know if that website still exists or not, but that's where she was. So she'd be there all night. So then when we get up in the morning, you feel me, we would have to be tiptoeing, trying to be quiet, because that'd be the time she want to go to sleep. So she'd be on the couch, you know, knocked out or trying to sleep, and we'd be like, you feel me? So that created an issue. So my mom at some point said she ain't gonna be able to do it no more. So she got up, packed her things, and dipped, okay? We didn't know where she was for years. I didn't realize the detriment it had caused me physically. Like emotionally, I was the big dog, you feel me? Like, I don't care, you know, shoot, I got my daddy, you feel me? I was big tough. But I didn't realize that I really did want a relationship with her for real because I had reached out to her prior to her leaving and saying, hey, you know, mama, I'll be around, you know, my best friend and her mom, and they do this and that, you feel me? And Papa took me to buy bras, like if you wasn't even there, you know. And she said she wanted to work. Because I'm like, why can't we have a relationship? Now, I reached out to my mom and I asked her, why can't we have a relationship? I would like to have a relationship with you. I was younger. So, then, you know, she dismissed me. So then I got big tough again. Like, all right, well then, all right, I'm cool. You feel me? I don't have no relationship with you. You choosing your job over the relationship with your daughter. Okay. So, she left. We couldn't find her for years. Somehow there was a change of address form sent from the bank to our house. We found out where she was. Boom. Her apartment, which was paid for by this family, because one time my mom helped this grandma. She helped this old lady. Let me quit. She helped this old lady one time, okay? And this lady was stuck on the highway. I don't know what the situation was. My mom stopped to help her, and apparently that saved her life or something. I don't really know the ins and outs, the ups and downs, you know what I'm talking about. But this family then felt like they owed my mom for saving their loved one. So they paid her rent, you feel me, at her apartment. She was like, you know, I guess she had a plan, and they took care of her, which was fine. But we didn't know where she was, you feel me? And again, Papa's money was the house money, and she was doing whatever she was doing. And, you know, when we finally found her, you know, she was in a hoarder's apartment. Like, she had become quite the hoarder. She had already become quite the hoarder when we was living together, but it was more concealed, and it wasn't like in our whole house. It was just in her car is where she kept all her things. And then boom, that's the second time, you know what I'm saying? So you remember I told you how her mom threw away her and my aunt's stuff when they was younger, and then now she got her car repoed, and boom, all your stuff that you kept inside of your car and in the storage, I'm sure she had a storage, is stripped because you can't afford it anymore, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize the detriment that had caused me. So in 2005, again, I graduated high school in 2004. In 2005, okay, I tried to put my jeans on one time, and my knees was so swollen I couldn't even put my jeans over my legs. So I called my dad, like, hey, Papa, you feel me? I was 18. I'm like, Daddy, you know, Papa, I don't know what's going on. Can you take me to the hospital? Blah, blah, blah. So, well, you know, all these tests was ran and all this stuff was done. And turns out I was diagnosed with lupus. So they set me up because I was young. They set me up with a nephrologist because protein was spilling in my urine, which isn't good. And then they set me up with a psychiatrist because they're like, you're young and you're not gonna be okay. You're gonna be taking steroids and you're gonna gain weight and you're not gonna be happy with who you are. So we're gonna send you to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, so the doctor, I went to see the psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever he was, and whichever one can write prescriptions, I don't remember. So he like asking me, you know, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. Like, they just told me to come here. He like, are you stressed out? I'm like, nah, you know, because I'm like real nonchalant. Like, I don't know why I need to see this guy. So he was, you know, telling me like lupus is misdiagnosed depression. I said, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, so what are you depressed about? I said, nothing. But I didn't realize I was really depressed about my mom, right? So I went through this 2 years of tests, and I did a kidney biopsy, and I had blood work I had to do out the ass, and bruh, I said, I'm de-diagnosing myself. I don't have no lupus. So in 2007, which was 2 years after I was diagnosed with lupus, I wrote a letter to my mom in email format because I ain't, you feel me? Well, I didn't know where she was. Like, I couldn't just pull up on her and have a talk with her. It was probably best anyway because I probably would have had words. in person. So it gave me time to actually think about what I wanted to say to her. So, and if y'all want the email, comment below. I will send you the email of our conversation back and forth, so you can see that I really had to really address some issues with her and bring everything to her so that she could be aware of where I stood too. So I sent her the email in 2007. She replied, and I then was like, I don't have lupus. I know what my problem is. My mama wasn't in my life. My mama took care of me to the point where when I could fend for myself, she didn't need to be around no more, you feel me? So, like, she didn't even spend no money on us for real. She just would like take us out like once ever so often to get ice cream at the Fairfield Mall or something, or Sherbert or whatever it was. My mom was a big health freak though, so she was like wanting to get fit, and she was always trying to find some kind of way to make food healthier. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like when she was diagnosed with cancer, she wanted to do this. No, she had been trying to do this from the jump, trying to make healthier foods for people. And she just wanted this to be her business. She was like trying to, I mean, she had, boy, listen, when we cleaned out her apartment, she had so many appliances, it didn't make no sense. She was really trying to do this. I'm talking about all types of supplements and grains and just trying to change the world with food that would, you know, what her idea was or whatever. So I was depressed because my mom wasn't around, but I didn't realize it because I was suppressing it because I was big tough all the time. You feel me? I had 4 brothers I was living in a house with, no mama and a daddy. Now, my daddy was like the nurturer and the big dog. So he did both. You know what I'm saying? My dad didn't take no shit, but he was very loving too. You know what I'm saying? And plus he was soft for me because I was the only girl in the house. So Papa, he did a lot, but he didn't have that mother. My dad did my hair when we was growing up because my mom couldn't do mixed hair. She didn't venture out to try, I guess. I don't know. Either way it go, I did have my daddy, but I didn't realize I was suppressing so much with the lack of my mother being around or not being around. I didn't realize I missed so much. Like, I realized when I wrote her that letter that I for sure missed a whole lot. You feel me? And so again, if y'all want the letter, just send me a text message, send me an email, write comment below, whatever you got to do, DM me. I'm telling you, I will send you that email I sent to my mom. I still have it in my email. And y'all can read it for yourself because it's real shit. All right, I'm gonna leave that there for y'all today, folks. I'll be back.